we're going to talk about like setting goals, physical feats, challenges. Let's motivate you. Everyone that set their New Year's resolutions. Motivated. So, those that set the New Year's resolutions have probably fucked them off by now. So this is coming out in February. We're going to motivate you back up in February. We were just talking about the High Rocks competition this weekend. Long story short, mate, it was very fucking difficult. Like, that's pretty much the long and short of that. But I like to set myself like physical, or I like to set myself many challenges across business, personal, and then like family goals. And for me, it just keeps me ticking over.
Right, steady on, Gary V. Can we as well, George, just for context, while we're talking about the High Rocks competition, overlay some of Josh's footage. If you haven't already, set a reminder to rip it from his story, because otherwise it'll be gone forever. We need to show people what was going on.
I can get you some. I can send you them. Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's my zip scratching on the this antique bench. I'm with you. I like the idea of. I don't think I'm massively goal orientated myself, but but I think
so. What I think the angle that I want to take on this was the dedication, I guess, to be able to choose something, actually stick it out, which you've done incredibly well. Actually, quite. It's pretty admirable that you've been able to do it, to stick it out for like your YouTube channel started 7 years.
YouTube. All right, okay.
Like for your physical fitness for 37 years, but like when did you start lifting?
I'm not in bad shape, am I, for a 37-year-old?
No.
When did I start lifting weights?
Yeah.
I think it was about 18, 19.
What, and you've even dieting pretty hard since you were 17, 18?
No, I never really, I was one of those kids that just went to the gym. I think most people get into like strength training or like just going to the gym. Like in general, I think 90% probably people do that because they want to look different, don't they?
Yeah.
You don't get many people going in thinking I want to be fitter as the primary goal, or I want to do it for a sport-specific reason.
Yeah.
Typically, it's people want to look better, don't they? I think that was for me when I was 18, because I was a skinny kid when I was 18, and I think I just wanted to look better, so I started going to the gym. But like when I was 18, 19, I didn't really know anything about training, so I would just go and, like you buy like an episode of like a men's health magazine or whatever, and it'd be like, do this, do it,
Yeah.
So you'd be like, that's how you're supposed to do it. And you just go to the gym and just kind of do stuff without any real programming behind it, right?
Yeah.
I think it was only when I probably got to my early to mid 20s, it would have been like early 22, maybe 23, that I kind of started to lift weights with any kind of regularity and goal in mind, because that's talking of goals. That's what I think. Consistency always trumps effort in a short space of time, and I think a big part of like lifting weights being a part of your life is it's just something you do, and you have like a long-term goal, but it's over time you plan to hit some, rather than just go into the gym. People in January often say, I'm just going to the gym. They don't really know what they're going to do. Go there, maybe a bit of treadmill, do a couple of bicep curls home, right? But just planning it around like a specific program, I think, is something I did in my early 20s.
Yeah, I think that's something that's always helped me stick out training is like having something to aim for. Like, I know if you're like a David Goggins, you train without a consequence, or whatever he says, train without a goal in mind. But
I don't trust anyone that wakes up at like fucking 4 a.m.
Yeah.
You're one of those people that, and if you've got a morning routine, which is not like get up, take a shit, have a coffee, then I'd like, there's something about you I just inherently mistrust.
But I think having a target to aim for is really useful, and then it sort of gives you then an opportunity to find out what you like or dislike doing. So obviously we're on the gym stuff to start with, but like I personally don't like weightlifting, like just straight up gym lifting. It bores me to tears, man.
Gym lifting. A lot of people are like that though. I think a lot of people put off. I think there's quite a lot of stigma about like lifting weights. Like very few of my friends lift weights, do any kind of resistance training. A lot of them, and a few of them will do like go for a run.
Yeah.
They're into running or they're into swimming or whatever it might be. Very few of them actually do resistance training of any kind. So I don't think you're alone in that. But I think I'm not the other way around. I hate cardiovascular exercise.
Yeah.
Like running for running's sake, I can't do it, right? The cardiovascular exercise I do is I walk a lot, right? If I'm overseas, like shooting like a series, I'll get on the treadmill and it'll be a bit more of an intense walk, I suppose.
Inclined.
Like, like max incline at a reasonably brisk pace. So I could, like, I didn't mind, like, when I was younger, when I played Siren. Can you hear that?
I say it's the gang members getting caught.
Coming around to see
sorry,
live.
hooligan.
Yeah, when I didn't mind, when I played football and whatnot. That's probably when I was fittest, actually, in terms of actual fitness. When I was playing football, like, whatever, 3-4 times a week, Sunday league and 5-a-side and just stuff like that. But I don't mind it there because there's kind of a purpose to it, right?
Yeah.
You're running for a reason. I hate, probably for the same reason you don't like lifting weights. I feel like it has purpose, but
I mean, obviously you can tell I lift weights. Like,
totally.
I do my resistance training, but for me, I need to be doing it in like I guess in like sort of like, so when I played rugby, you've got a bit of camaraderie. You've got that like.
You played rugby? I can't even see that, man. You're too tall to play rugby.
Are you joking, mate?
Yeah, you need to be a little. Be shorter.
We won the Yorkshire Cup.
Is that a thing? The Yorkshire Cup?
Yeah,
I feel it's invented.
rugby league,
I feel like you invented that 3 seconds ago.
that's a pretty good thing. Yeah.
I couldn't handle rugby, man.
Because that's why. So like doing the High Rocks training, the reason I went up to that to do to the Metcon, the gym, is because all the lads that I used to play rugby with train up there. So they all like finished rugby and went there. So Tebby, who I did the race with, he played up at Jews Rams. He played at Hunslet. So he went quite high level. He went up to sort of a professional level. But for me, like that's where I get to do both. So you get to do resistance training like you would as a team, and then you do your cardio again as a team, and it becomes much more tolerable. And then when you've got a target to aim for, again, you're all sort of working towards something.
I get that. I think when it comes to like any kind of strength training, to me the target is now it's very different now to when I first got into it. But like the target is always it boggles my mind that people don't do. Not everyone does some kind of strength training.
Yeah,
because it's one of people are always looking for the fountain of youth or whatever. One thing that you guarantee even for me now, it's more of a motivation to be healthy and just sustain an above average level of strength into old age, because that's good for your connective tissue, your joints. You're going to be healthier. The reason my grandma's fucked and she can barely walk, right, at 88, or whatever she is now, is not inherently because she is old. It's because if you're old and you don't exercise,
use it or lose it.
Yeah, because naturally, especially in men, natural testosterone production reduces with age, meaning that atrophy is naturally going to occur if you don't do some kind of resistance training.
Atrophy being muscle loss.
Yeah, but so if you look at, I saw a picture the other day of Mel Gibson, and yeah, don't get me wrong, he's probably on some special sauce, right? But I saw him train. He's training for like some kind of role, and he's not like lean or anything, but for his age, what is he, like 70 or something, Mel Gibson? He's got to be in that range. But he looked amazing. I thought, like, at that age to look that good, and it's because he trains and stuff, like, and he'll probably be way physically healthier than
67.
67, right? Imagine if I can look like Mel Gibson at 60. He's got a great beard as well. At that age, I'll be a happy man, right? But
and that's one thing that I wanted to bring up was like we know so like with sort of science and experience, we know so much more now about getting older, man or woman. If you're a resistance trainer or you're actually training regularly, you are going to have a better life in later life.
Yeah, quality of life in later
quality
life.
of life in later life. So like I remember like all the middle-aged men that I recall of when I was younger all kind of looked the same.
Yeah,
like no muscles on the top half, bit of a dad belly. Pints working. Do you know what I mean? Like, you like obviously you look like shit. Like but you didn't. They didn't. That was like the culture, Like that's like the rugby culture in it.
Yeah, I think as well. Like you forget that kind of gym culture in itself amongst the majority of the population is kind of a new thing. Like you go back to the 1950s. Not many. Oh, of course, people knew about training, but it wasn't a done thing, was it? You like my grandma never went to the gym, my mum never went to the gym. Like my dad did, but only kind of as part of like training for football or whatever sport he was playing at the time. People didn't as commonly go to the gym. It's more of a common thing now. Gyms probably, I would imagine that there are more gyms around now than there were in the 1950s.
Back then, people were told that cigarettes were healthy.
Yeah, true.
So it's like, why would I go to the gym? I can just smoke a cigarette.
You ever see those old, those wacky old like 50s fitness like. I don't know if it'd be a commercial or like a TV bit where there's like there'll be like women and they've got those weird belts kind of going around them and they're doing all these weird exercises which now are just total nonsense. It's like, have you ever seen those?
I've seen them ones where it looks like they're having a wank.
I thought
it's like a dumbbell.
I know what. You don't have to do it with a hand.
Shake weight.
You can do two. Like remember last week when we went skiing?
Yeah, I remember.